Thank you. All right, so here's the overview. I'll do my welcome. We're going to talk about the fall season, walk through the individual game results. We'll talk about a research project that is undergoing, and we do want your participation. And then finally, we'll talk about a future meeting, this time a live in-person meeting. So we're going to talk about the NICE K-12 coach meetup. And then, like I said, the second half of the meeting, we'll have you have your individual conversations in the breakout rooms. And today's topic is, what do you do after the NCL season? How do you keep students engaged and learning? And at the end, we want to have, we'll send out a doodle poll because we want to make sure that first, is this the right time to be meeting? So we want to, for spring, so starting in January, which I guess is still kind of winter, but we'll call it spring. Spring semester, we want to make sure that we are meeting at the best time, optimal time for everybody. So this time may change depending upon everyone's schedule. All right, Franz, you want to go to the next slide? All right, so once again, for those of you who are new to this call, I'm David Zaitchik. I'm the commissioner. I'm also a professor at Chico State University in Northern California. Franz? Oh, go back one. I was going to have you introduce yourself.
All right, gotcha. Sorry, I was muted. Hello, I'm Franz Pear from Skyline, and for those of you who are not aware, Skyline is the platform for the National Cyber League.
And Emily.
Hi, everybody. I'm Emily Calandranis. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for Skyline. And we're excited to have you all join us. And we hope you brought a friend or a colleague with you to learn more about the NCL.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, now we'll go to the next one.
All right, so we'll start with some highlights from the fall season. These are the survey results that we had in from the individual game. One of the big questions that we ask is, how likely are you to recommend NCL to others? And what we see is that basically half of the NCL players are a 10 out of 10 on recommending the experience to others. So we've been very happy with the level of excitement that we see from the NCL players. We also are asking this key question of, are you planning on working in cybersecurity? And we asked the before and after question. We want to know if we're actually making a positive impact in helping students get excited for this career field. And what you can see here in the red, that's the before, the blue is the after. And we don't, what we really are doing is we're moving a lot of players from the no category into the maybe category. And there's some that are going into maybe to yes, but it's interesting to see how many students, maybe they're taking an IT or an elective course that touches the NCL in some way, and they didn't consider cybersecurity as a career. And because of their NCL experience, now they're a little bit more open to pursuing specifically a career in cybersecurity. And then just a couple more questions here. We asked people if NCL has enabled them to apply what they learned in the classroom. Resounding yes, 95.6% agree, 4.4% disagree. Another question for, has NCL improved their skills? 95.7% agree, 4.3% disagree. And then NCL has increased my knowledge of cybersecurity, 97.4% agree, 2.6% disagree. So based on the feedback that we be getting from the players, it seems to be very helpful as part of that process from going into from the classroom into a career, really being able to apply that knowledge, build new skills, build even more knowledge, and getting them ready. And of course, we would love to get additional feedback from coaches. We are going to be sending out, now that the season's wrapping up, additional surveys for coaches to understand how can we better help you all out as well. And so expect those to come kind of like after Thanksgiving, once things have calmed down a little bit.
So one comment came in, which I think is pretty interesting. Ron mentioned that even the students that moved from yes to no is a huge success because they gained insight into the field and were able to make a more mindful decision. So maybe they came and did NCL and like, maybe this isn't really for me, and decided to switch to something else. So interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Hopefully the reason is because they found out that this is not the type of work for them, and not because their NCL experience was so poor that they decided that I do not want anything to do with this. There is probably room for additional research into the reasoning that we could probably do in the future. So that's a good comment.
It is. Thanks, Ron. And then Stephen adds, some of our students are dual credit, maybe pursuing a different pathway. So makes sense as well. Okay, individual game, top player shoutouts. So the top individual was Justin Applegate from BYU. And Justin had, this is what, 2 seasons of NCL. So I think, Franz, are we agreeing that this is his third, or he has done 2 previously?
This is including the current season.
Okay, so this is Justin's second time playing NCL. So he came in 5th place. Nicely done. And just as a side note too, we will be going over all of the individual and team places during our call tomorrow. So we will have kind of a wrap-up celebration call tomorrow afternoon. I think we'll have that time and date posted in a slide coming up, but I just wanted to mention that right now, that we will be going over all of those top players and top teams tomorrow. Individual game, Justin Giboney, coach, BYU. NCL has been an excellent resource for novice and advanced cybersecurity students. It provides opportunities to learn and challenges to excel. Go Cougs. Is Justin on the call right now? I don't see him.
I am.
Oh, you are. Hey, anything else you wanted to add? So congratulations first.
Oh, that's great.
Great. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're happy for you. So great. All right, next slide. All right, so 4th is Kat Stevens from Illinois Institute of Technology. Again, also 2nd time, so in 4th place. Congratulations. Next. 3rd place was Jacob Elliott from SANS Technology Institute. So this is Jacob's 4th time. Like, we really like to see return players, and we like to see them move up the leaderboard. So that's great for them to keep returning and improving. That's obviously one of the big ideas and design behind NCL, is to keep advanced players engaged and learning as they go. All right, next. So John has a quote here. John, I think you're on the call. Did you want to add anything?
No, just the students I've been involved with are just super dedicated, and just the commitment to learning is outstanding. Jacob obviously embodies all of that. So, but thanks to the NCL for giving us a platform to really show the skills, and it's really a testament to all their hard work.
All right. And was it Jacob who said wicked smart?
That was me. I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
He's wicked smart.
That's great. Love it. Thank you. All right, next slide. So in 2nd place, we had Andrew Effenhauser. And I think it's really important to point out here that Andrew is a high school student. So that is amazing. If he hasn't thought of what school to go to yet, I could also put Chico State out is a great place to come. So Andrew and Andrew's coach, we'd love to have him here. And I'm sure all the other coaches on the call too are thinking probably the same thing. So Andrew, way to go. High school student, amazing. And this is Andrew's 3rd time playing. And for the top player, sorry, we will talk first about the coach, Charles. Is Charles on the call?
He is not. He has a conflict.
Oh, is a conflict. Okay, so I'll just quickly read this. NCL is an opportunity for my students to explore the wide world of cybersecurity. Time, encouragement, exploring, and reading documentation and self-motivation are a few vital ingredients for success. Congratulations to Andrew Corgo E on a fantastic job. Way to go. All right, and now for first place was Chandi Kanhai from Rochester Institute of Technology. And this is Chandi's third season. Way to go. And was this was impressive. What was his accuracy, or was that for the team game? Franz, do you want to add any color behind this one?
For the team game, I think we're going to save all the team game announcements for the
Yeah. I wasn't going to announce the team game, but did he had pretty high accuracy, is that correct?
I can pull up his.
I just wanted to ask.
So from an individual game, he had a 93.5% accuracy.
Oh, there you go. That is impressive. So not only did he solve many of the challenges more than anyone, but he also had a high accuracy. So that's impressive. Way to go, Chandi. Next slide. All right, so moving on to the next part of our call. I want to introduce Johanna Jacob, who's a doctoral student at the Department of Computer Science at University of Texas, San Antonio. And Johanna, you want to talk to us about your research and also opportunities to take part in this, correct?
Yes, that's right. So I'm here. I'm here with my advisor, Dr. Gregory White. He's the director of CIAS here at UT San Antonio, and I'm a doctoral student working under his supervision. I was hoping that Dr. White would, I know this is my research study, but he has been very supportive, and he's been such a great advocate. And so I wanted to ask him to say a few words about the research, the study, and the survey in general, and the efforts that we've been doing. So, yep.
Okay, is it possible for us to share a screen here?
Yes, let me pass that over.
Thank you.
Actually, Emily,
Okay.
I believe you're host, so you have to do that.
Sure, give me 1 second. Let me find you in the list.
I think it worked, I think.
Oh, perfect. There you go.
Hot diggities. Okay, as Johanna mentioned, I'm her advisor at the University of Texas at San Antonio. I'm also the director for the Center for Infrastructure Assurance and Security. She came to me with this idea for some research a while back, and I've fallen in love with the whole thing, her whole project, because it has turned out to be very interesting. Just to see if I can get this to advance here. Just to give you background real quick, what we're trying to do. UTSA has a strong relationship at this point with these Cyber Patriot folks. And so we were able to get some information from Cyber Patriot. They had 6,700 teams participating in their competition. And what Johanna was looking at was, the diversity. Where are those schools located that are participating? And what is the penetration into the high school arena? And so we got the demographic information. And I have to admit that at the beginning, I thought, well, 6,700 teams across the country, that's a lot of teams, that's a lot of students. So there's undoubtedly, they're doing a pretty good job. And what we found out was no. When she started plotting it all out and figuring out where everything's, where all the schools were and everything, what she found was that there are very, very few Title I and rural communities participating in the Cyber Patriot program. We're also very interested in, once again, in finding out at NCL what the situation is. Is it similar to what the Cyber Patriot folks have found, or are you folks hopefully maybe getting out to more Title I and rural schools? But the whole purpose of the overall study and what she's trying to do and get more information on is what exactly is that penetration, because if it holds true that, for everybody, that it's about the same, that we don't have the participation in rural communities and in Title I schools, then, as a profession, as a career field, we need to do something about that, because we're missing out on a huge demographic if that is the case. And one could argue that this specific the individuals in that demographic are individuals that could actually benefit quite a lot from jobs in cybersecurity. So what we're trying to do is to find out some more, to get some more information on it. We had the data from Cyber Patriot, but that's just, one group of individuals. We're hoping to get some information from a similar survey, or this survey that she's created from the NCL participation, and see what the situation is like there. The kind of information that is being asked for, just some normal demographic kind of information, nothing that's going to identify specific individuals or anything along those lines. But we're interested in the participation. Are the schools that are participating, are they Title I schools? Are they rural communities? How many competitions are the folks participating? Like, so you're participating in NCL? Are you doing Cyber Patriot? Are you doing any others? What's the penetration of the competition? Because we think that's a wonderful way to get students involved, and then exposure of elementary, middle, and high school students into cybersecurity as well. Who can? Well, anybody who wants to, but primarily what we're looking at or hoping for are mentors, coaches from NCL, other cybersecurity competitions. We're hoping to get teachers and administrators, and anybody that you may know that you think, if you know of a school that does not have any cybersecurity program whatsoever, but some teachers there who may be STEM teachers, but they're not doing cybersecurity, whatever, please, here's a QR code. But please share this with other folks. So this is for anybody that for you folks, as well as anybody that you may know, primarily focusing once again on what we're interested in, high school, middle school kind of age into students is what we're targeting. But pass it around, share it freely, please. So I don't want to take too much time, but Johanna, I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to add to this. I'll leave this up for a second.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt real quick?
Oh, please do so.
I'm not very clear on that last request. You're saying that you want us to relay this information to schools that do not have a cybersecurity program?
Oh, absolutely.
And the purpose of that would be so they can explore the process of how to build one? Is that?
Well, yeah, we'd like to know, why.
Oh,
The ultimate goal is to be able to identify the reasons. Now we could all probably guess some of the reasons. We have a lot of anecdotal evidence, and reasons why schools don't, why teachers aren't comfortable with it. They don't have the background, whatever. We believe, however, things like competitions are a great way to help teachers introduce cybersecurity to their students. So we think this, it'll benefit. NCL could benefit, help out with the situation. Cyber Patriot, any other competitions, can help to promulgate cybersecurity throughout the country. But yeah, we're interested in both schools that do have programs and schools that don't have programs, because we'd like to find out, why some folks do and why some folks don't have the programs. And then ultimately, what her dissertation is going to be is, okay, she's going to have some recommendations on here's some possible ways to solve this problem, and to get more Title I and rural community schools involved. I hope that answered it. Johanna, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add.
Yes, that's really good, Dr. White. Thank you so much. So yes, as Dr. White said, please share the survey, and please take the survey for yourself as well. And if there are other NCL coaches that are not on this call, please, friends, is there a way that you will be sending this survey or sending an email blast after this session is over?
Yes, once we put together the summary notes for this call, that email will go out. We'll also make sure we include the link there. And definitely, I know that with this research, it's especially difficult to get data on schools that are not doing competitions, because there's no good medium to get the word out. And so if you have colleagues at high schools, other schools that you feel like they would benefit, or there is some sort of interest in cyber competitions, but they're not currently participating, please encourage them to take this survey, because it's the data on the individuals who are not currently doing competitions that is really challenging to get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, and it looks like the link, there's a chat there. Somebody, Johanna put the link to the survey up in the chat. So if you didn't catch the QR code, also, the QR code's there. And then to Ron Pike, who talked about the student mentors. Yeah, absolutely. If you're at a college and you have students who are mentoring other high school folks, please have those students pass this out. We would love to get as many teachers involved in this as possible, both Title I, rural communities, and just schools. Just get the feedback from schools in general. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you folks today, and thank you in advance for your help with the survey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. White and Johanna. This is obviously super important work. And I know we'll circle back. We'll have you back on another coaches call when you have some data. Yes? Share some of the data with us, some of the results.
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Perfect. All right. Thank you. So if there are any other questions, please, about this, please go ahead and put them in chat. And as Franz said, we'll also be sending out the link with our follow-up email to this coaches call. All right, Franz, next slide.
All right. Next slide, we're talking about the NCL award ceremony. I realized we also want to mention before we dive into this, we are putting a request out there to get more photos of the NCL community. We're a fully online national competition, so sometimes it's hard to see the people who are part of the NCL. And so we're asking all the coaches to please get a team photo and submit that to us. There will be a link in the summary notes that is going out after this call with the submission form for you to put in your team photos. And we will be sending out sticker packs to all schools that submit their photos. We want to highlight all of the schools, share that on our social media, share it in our annual report. We want to make sure that people actually get to see the faces and the amazing students, the amazing coaches that are out there within the NCL. So again, we will be sending out a link to the form to send in your team photos. And if you do send in your team photo, we will send you all a sticker pack in the mail with stickers for every single student on your team, as well as yourself and any other coaches that you have in the photo. So really hope that you can all submit some photos and help us show the face of the NCL community. And I'll pass it on to Emily now to talk about the award ceremony.
Awesome. Thanks, Franz. So hopefully you all have been seeing a lot of communication about the NCL Spirit Week. We're continuing it actually today. So we have campfire stories happening at 5 and 6 p.m. Eastern this evening. We have information on our LinkedIn pages, as well as emails that have gone out. And in particular, we really want to invite everyone on this call, your teams, your individual players, or if you're just able to show up by yourself. We're having an award ceremony on Friday at 7 p.m. And we're really excited to share the top individual players with the whole NCL community, as well as announce the team winners. So definitely invite friends, family, anyone that you think would like to see the award ceremony live. We also have a special guest, Janelle Strock from WESIS, who's going to be sharing some wonderful advice for our players. And then right after the award ceremony, we're going to have a Q&A session with the game creators. So this is going to be the engineers from Cyber Skyline. We have a special guest from CrowdStrike that's going to be helping with the Q&A as well. So we really just invite everyone to join us. We're excited to celebrate all the wonderful things that have been happening in the fall 2022 competition season, and really bring us together to celebrate each other's successes. So
All right, thanks. And also to note, we did have yesterday a very fun event, which was part of Spirit Week, that had a bunch of us on a scavenger hunt. So we were dashing all over our house trying to find items that were requested. And we had over 200 people watching that fun event. So we're getting some participation. We are, this is the first time that we have Spirit Week. So we are just seeing how it goes, and we're trying to, bring more students back in after the game to, as we're doing right now in the coaches call, to build community.
And to add to that, David,
Yeah.
This was our first Spirit Week, and what we observed throughout the week, for those of you who are not aware of the Spirit Week activities, on Monday, we had a fun little Rate My Setup tournament where students were submitting photos of their kind of like their computer setups and their workstations. And there was a live stream where we went through and chose the people who are going to be on the brackets, and there's currently voting on that. On Tuesday, we had a recruiter pitch day where recruiters were sharing internship and job opportunities. We had over 500 people attend live to that event, and then that was followed by a career village where we did resume reviews and mock interviews with some of the NCL players. Yesterday was game night. Tonight we've got our campfire stories, and then tomorrow is our award ceremony. All of these activities are really meant to help deliver more value to your players, to your students. And so as we are planning future activities for next season and beyond, we will make sure that all the communication about what these activities are going to you in your email. And we ask that you share these opportunities with your students, because the survey results that we've seen have been extremely positive in terms of the value it's providing to the students in having fun, in being able to learn about real entry-level positions, and really helping them with their professional development. And it's a lot of value that can be provided to your students outside of just the games. And it's entirely free for all of your students as well. So that's something we highly encourage you to invite your students to those events as they come out. And they're also available to anyone who is not currently an NCL player. So you don't have to be an NCL player. You don't have to be an NCL coach. It's open to the entire community. So if you have students who are interested in cybersecurity, even if they're not an NCL player, they can attend those as well.
Great. Yep. Thanks for the recap, Franz. So future meetings. One thing that I do want to talk about is the NICE K-12 conference. That's coming up at the beginning of next month. Maybe I could get like a little hand or thumbs up if anyone is planning to attend that. I don't see anybody out there yet putting a thumbs up or a hand up. Okay, well, we in the last call, we did have a few people in that survey say that they would be attending. So this is just a continuing plan for us to get together, not only online, but also in person. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an NCL sponsored dinner the Monday night of that conference at 6:30. And it's really just, again, for us to meet face to face, get to know each other, and kind of continue to build this community in live face to face way. So for next year, for 2023, we want to figure out what is the best time for everyone to meet. Maybe it's this current time, maybe it's a different time. So we will be sending out a doodle poll for you to pick the time that works, or the times. Hopefully don't pick just one time. Please give us a range of times that work best for your schedule for spring. We know that people's schedules and teaching schedules change over time. So this is an opportunity to pick the best time for the spring semester. So look for that in our follow-up email. All right, next slide. All right, discussion time. So once again, we're going to create some breakout rooms, and we encourage you guys to be able to talk about this discussion. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so the discussion topic for today, very timely since this is the end of the NCL season. What do you do after the NCL season? How do you keep your students engaged in learning? And we have some sub questions from that. So what activities or other competitions do you have to keep your students engaged? What resources do you use to practice those skills? And do your students work towards other goals outside of the season? So once NCL is over, during winter break, are your students working on other things such as studying towards certs? And if so, what do you recommend? So these are all discussion topics that we want to have you talk about in a group right now. And Franz just put a bunch of instructions here in the chat. So what we'll do is, if you do not want to participate in this breakout session, now would be a good time to sign off from the meeting, and we'll see you again next year in 2023. And if you do want to remain, please remain on the call right now. And yep, okay, so I see a couple people leaving. That's fine. If this doesn't work for you, that's great. I know some people are definitely busy at the top of this hour. So I'll give it another second for people to drop off. All right, so when we do put you into these groups, we are going to want you to have a room leader. We found out that that's usually the best way for this to work. So we will be asking for room leaders. And Franz, do we still have coffee, Starbucks gift certificates for them, for our room leaders?
We do. I'll answer for him.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, perfect. So if you are going to volunteer to be a room leader, please go ahead and tell us now in the chat that you'd be happy to be a room leader, because we do want to make sure that we have one room leader per room. So just put your name in the chat like last time. Really no other obligation but to just try to be the person to keep the conversation going and filling out the Google form. So another thing to note is right now you can see in the chat, Franz did put a link to the Google folder. So when you are randomly assigned to your room number will correspond with the folder that you should be looking in to fill out. In there, Stephen, thank you for volunteering to be a room leader. And okay, I think that is good. So we are looking, oh good, we have 2 room leaders so far. John, no problem. Thanks for stopping by again. We'll see you on the other side. All right, anyone else for room leader?
David, we could start the rooms and then
Figure it
go
out
through
from
them.
there.
Yeah, figure it out from there.
Yeah, let's go ahead since we are burning some time here. So let's go ahead and have you create those rooms, and people, you will be randomly assigned to a room. Was discussed. Oh, thank you. So let me go ahead and I'll share my screen for our breakout room, and I'll let you, Chip, you want to take it away? Talk a little bit about what we discussed.
Sure. So we talked about how to keep the students engaged, and a couple of other competitions came up. So Hack the Box is running a university competition the first weekend in December. It's a team competition. Interestingly, the teams, you can put 20 people on your team, so you can reach out hopefully into other other fields, maybe the more programming students or whoever else might be interested in doing a participation. The other thing we do pretty regularly over the winter break to keep them interested is participate as a group in the SANS, the Holiday Hack Challenges. If you're not familiar with those, they're pretty fun. It's kind of like a giant 80s video game, but you're moving your little guy around the game board and solving challenges, and so that's a fun competition as well. And then we strayed way off, and we started talking about how to embed NLC competition into the courses and what that looks like, and how you would weight it. Colin was sharing his experience that he embeds competition in his 3rd and 4th year security classes at their 4-year university, and it actually takes the place of a final exam, but at a much lower weight than most of us might think of. And I think is that it? You sat there the whole time, David.
Yeah, that was it. And then at the end, I said, hey, I do want to see if there's interest out there for people to work with me to build a shell. So one thing I'm looking at is building a shell in Canvas, which would be a generic shell of how I go about incorporating curriculum into my class, along with other people that would like to work on that with me, so that new people to NCL, new instructors to NCL can take that Canvas shell and have at least a starting place. Obviously they can change the activities up to however they want it, but at least they have a good base to just jump in and start from. So I put that as a discussion topic for the new year, because that is something that I think would be worthwhile to pursue for new coaches, and maybe even coaches that are on this call now. And I was looking what else we have in chat. All right, so how about Breakout Room 2?
Hey, hi, David.
Hi.
So we had a good discussion, and we covered several things. So what activities do we have to keep your students engaged? So some of the feedback was CCDC set up, Hacking 101, a Village for Local Security Conference, CyberCon Milwaukee. Have classes in Cyber 1 and 2 and CIS, I think 1A and 20. Also term papers or NCL participation for scholarship for service students at George Washington University. There's no formal activity there. And then students do their own research and learning, and no formal activity was also discussed. What resources do you use to practice skills? So Pico CTF, Hack the Box, Try Hack Me. I put in the link, I don't know if you know Chris Simpson, but Chris has created a whole set of labs for Hack the Box for practicing, and that's on clark.center.org, and it's free. All those labs under what they set up a category called Power Max. So if you want free labs for your students, you can go out there and download that. The whole works. All the activities are informal, voluntary, and fun is another feedback. Canvas shell for training and coaching. That's what we have at ENMU. And then Philip says, have students work on the DFRWS forensic challenge. And then do your students have other goals they're working toward during off season or between seasons, like certifications? And we just said informal programs. In informal programs, they're working on certs, and they use the NCL CompTIA cert map as a guide for kind of understanding which competition they need to work on that ties back to the CompTIA certifications. Then keeping in contact with students between seasons, have face-to-face meetings even between seasons. They work through the gym challenges and provide a friendly environment for people to ask questions. A coach plus students will mentor local Cyber Patriot teams, and then a Canvas class that runs 16 weeks. So that's for the semester. And then what future sessions topics should we have, and a student panel to provide feedback to coaches directly. So that's what we covered in our breakout session.
Interesting. So invite some students, some players to the coaches call.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, then we could have some set questions for them and have some discussion. Not a bad idea. We think it's going one way. It's always good to see what the students have to say.
I just we had a meeting last night with our students for post competition meeting, and we got a lot of feedback. So yeah, it would be good to share some of that.
Yeah, great. Okay, I'll have to get some brave students up here. All right, let me go ahead and stop my share. Franz, did we have a last slide?
Yes, I just need to make sure I unmute myself.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, just another reminder to look out for that doodle poll so we can figure out the best time to meet next time. And again, thanks for the topics of what you think we could cover during these breakout sessions. Feel free to send us ideas as you think of them, because again, this part of the meeting is really for you and for us, for the community, for us to learn from each other. So. Oh yeah, hand raised. Stephen, did you want to add something?
I just wanted to ask, you mentioned the Canvas course that you're working on.
Yeah.
If you want, I'd be glad to work with you on that. We provided you with that one shell. I don't know if you're using that or not, but that's something that came up in our discussions last night. And so there's a lot more students are looking for in there, and to make it more formalized. So than what we're doing. So anyway, it would be good to work with you all so we can all share ideas and maybe get a better course together. So anyway, I'm available if you want to call me in.
Great. Yeah, thanks. And I think we can do that. I got a couple. I have a note of a couple people that would want to join in on that. So maybe we can have just a separate work group to start building it, and then bring it back and present it to the coaches call so we can get feedback on what other people think we should add. So yeah, thanks, Stephen. I am working from yours. Okay, well, thanks again, everyone, for joining. We're again now at the bottom of the hour. So I do appreciate everyone's time and all your feedback. And we will see you next year. Take care and have a great holiday season.